Hello friends. Today we're going to discuss about World Schizophrenia Day. Challenges faced by persons with schizophrenia and family members. I'm Dr. Suresh Padadmat, Professor of Psychiatry, working at NIMANS, Bangalore. Before I start my presentation, I would like to have a disclaimer. This presentation is for academic and training purpose only. If you want to have a clinical opinion, please do contact mental health professionals. World Schizophrenia Day is celebrated across the world on 24th of May every year. In this video, we are going to discuss about what is the reason for celebration of World Schizophrenia Day, what are the challenges faced by persons with schizophrenia and their family members, and what are the best way out will be discussed. Let's understand. Schizophrenia is a medical illness because we need to decrease the stigma and discrimination. A person who has myocardial infarction, that is heart attack, everybody shows empathy and sympathy. Whereas a person who develops schizophrenia will not be treated equally with physical illness. Please do understand, schizophrenia is an illness of the brain and it is also a medical illness. Along with this, because of the stigma and discrimination, persons with mental illness do not get access for treatment. At the same time, availability of treatment is also very remote. And if you look at the prevalence of schizophrenia, it is around 0.4%. 0.4% as per the National Mental Health Survey done by NIMANS in 2015 and 16. If you consider 0.5%, that means we have a population of 138 crore. It is equivalent to 5 to 6 million people with schizophrenia are there in India. Unfortunately, they have many challenges to face, such as stigma and discrimination. They are not equally treated like any other person or any citizen in India. Not only that, they are not being equally treated among the person who has illness. Along with that, even in a persons with disability, the mentally ill come at the lower order because the disability in mental illness cannot be seen. People consider them they are malingering. Unfortunate. At the same time, non-availability of treatment at the rural area and even at the taluk or tehsil and district level is a big challenges where a person with mental illness and schizophrenia has to face. At the same time, by the way of nature of schizophrenia, they have poor insight. They deny that they are suffering from mental illness and they refuse treatment. Hence, the treatment gap is 75%. That means out of 100 patients who have been diagnosed as schizophrenia, only 25% are on treatment. 75% are not on treatment because of various reasons. Considering the challenges of human resources, 138 crore population has only 9,000 psychiatrists and psychiatric nurses who have qualified MSc psychiatric nursing is hardly less than 2,000. Psychiatric social workers are also less than 2,000 and clinical psychologist is less than 2,000. That means it's abysmal. Mental health human resources who are highly qualified. At the same time, availability of hospital beds for persons with mental illness is also very low. We have hardly 43 mental hospitals, medical colleges 542 and district hospitals 718. If we consider all these and approximately the beds available in India may be around 37,000 in public sector. At this point of time, we don't know how many beds are available in private sector. That means having availability of bed for persons with mental illness is very, very difficult. Not only that, whichever beds are available in public health sector, they are being occupied by many of the patients who are long-standingly ill. That means many mental hospitals are providing care for destitutes, homeless mentally ill, and they have recovered, but unfortunately, they do not have any place to go. Coming to the disability certificate and disability pension. Since many persons with schizophrenia refuse to accept they are ill, they refuse to undergo assessment and they don't want to use disability certificate. At the same time, on the other hand, few policymakers, doctors, administrators refuse to accept the people with psychiatric illness have disability, because mental disability cannot be seen, it is only felt. And the person with mental illness and schizophrenia knows how difficult it is to do work when they have this mental illness. Coming to the jobs, if a person comes to know that he is hiring a person who has schizophrenia, they will be denied in spite of having high qualification. Marriage, a person with schizophrenia finds it very difficult to get alliance. Even if he gets married, separation and divorce is very common. This is unfortunate. At the same time, the people who provide support is the family of origin, that is the father, mother, and few good siblings, that is brothers and sister. If the parents demise or they are deceased, very few brothers or sister will look after the persons with mental illness. Hence, the parents have this question, what after me? Who will look after my son who has schizophrenia or daughter who has schizophrenia? It's a big question. What is the way out? This way out has to be understood from the pandemic angle, because whatever the problems which were there before pandemic has become pronounced during pandemic. The first and the foremost way out is implementation of Right to Persons with Disability Act 2016 and also Mental Health Care Act of 2017. Both the legislation are a landmark legislation which needs to be implemented in true spirits in every state of our country. If we do that, we have achieved 40 to 60% of the care what we have to give. At the same time, as per Mental Health Care Act, inpatient services, outpatient services for persons with mental illness and schizophrenia should be available at every district hospitals and even at community health centers. Essential psychotropic medications has to be made available at the community health centers upwards, that is district hospital, medical colleges and tertiary care centers. Rehabilitation services should be made available at every district hospitals. Like rehabilitation services means halfway home, sheltered accommodation, supported accommodation, vocational rehabilitation. All these services should be made available for persons with mental illness as per Mental Health Care Act of 2017, Section 18 clearly dictates if these services are not available, the state has to provide compensation for persons with mental illness for making non-availability of these services. Caregiver pension. This is one of the burning issue because the public health sector availability of providing care, availability of these rehabilitation centers are very poor. The family members are providing care. If a person with schizophrenia who requires high support needs as per Right to Persons with Disability Act, that person is spending most of the time in taking care of persons with schizophrenia. For that person, the government should give caregiver's pension because he has sacrificed his life to take care of his ward, his son, maybe daughter, or a family member who is suffering from schizophrenia. This needs to be considered at the earliest. At the same time, our laws, our policies, every state should consider empowering family members. This pandemic has thrown a huge challenge on persons with schizophrenia along with their family members. Family members are finding it very difficult to take care of persons with mental illness and schizophrenia during lockdown. If they are taking medication, they are doing well. If they don't take medication, invariably because of pandemic, because of the stress of pandemic, the illness is precipitated. We have seen various kinds of problems which is arising because of pandemic. Unfortunately, persons with mental illness have been neglected. Not only that, availability of continuously medication is a big challenge during pandemic. Hence, there should be a mechanism to supply medicine to the doorsteps. Not only that, telepsychiatry services, telepsychotherapy services should be made available for persons with schizophrenia and also for the family members. Although these looks very ideals, it looks very theoretical, but if there is a political will, If there is a good administration and the technical support, this can be made possible. Not only that, in the vaccination drive, unfortunately, persons with mental illness were left behind. Now it is the time we have to prioritize persons with mental illness, senior citizens, and also people with suffering from dementia should be vaccinated, even whether they have Aadhaar card, whether they have ID card. Irrespective of that, vaccination has to be done, because persons with mental illness and schizophrenia may not have any ID card. Many of our states, especially Karnataka and couple of more states, have already issued a notification for persons with mental illness and persons with disability. Please provide vaccination without asking any ID has been notified. This is a wonderful initiative. At the same time, proactive measures has to be taken to reach out to persons with mental illness who are wandering at large, who are on footpath and various places, because if we don't reach them, they will perish. And in a welfare society, we have to take care of the weaker section of our society. That is the way the welfare society is assessed in a developed world. If we don't take care of our weaker section, that means we are not a welfare society. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time. Stay safe.